Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. We only find them when they're dead. This is interesting. I'm seeing a lot of inspiration from watching Underwater Life in this one, or Deep Blue Sea, whatever those shows are called. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll break into a little bit about the book itself. We Only Find Them When They're Dead, written by Al Ewing, illustrated by Simone DeMeo, with color assist by Maria Sara Miotti, and letters by Andwall Design, covered by Simone, and there's a whole bunch of variant covers out there. Check them out. This is from Boom Studios, so yeah. Anyway, the writer and artist themselves actually created this. So this is basically a crew of 4, and the main focus right now is on the captain. We'll see how far that goes. And he's had a couple of interesting incidents. Parents who were actually kind of cool. The mother, at least, seemed kind of cool, whatever. And there's this one person who is... How do I explain all of this? It's basically a school of fish. Or maybe a better way of looking at it is plankton, or just little micro bacteria in space, similar to these kinds of creatures, these bottom feeders almost, at the bottom of the sea, the ocean floor. Because when I see this, the whole thing with we only find them when they're dead, they're basically gods or giants that they come across and like, oh, hey, what's up? It's another dead one. Let's start mining it. So a little bit of influence from Nowhere in the Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's a giant celestial head that they've been mining forever, and they barely scratched the surface because the damn thing is so big, and they make a bar and a whole bunch of other stuff inside. Yeah, that. And also the idea of seeing a whale at the bottom of the sea, it dies or some animal kills it, whatever, and everything on its way down takes a bite of it, but there's still plenty left for the smaller creatures. So by the time it hits the ocean floor, a whole bunch of smaller sea life come up and start just stripping it completely bare, everything, until there's nothing left. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. These guys find this giant and they section it off and quarter it off, and it's like, I'll take the right cheek and you'll take the left cheek to the front of the mouth, and we'll do this, and the eyes are really big, and there's a market demand on those, but the price is set by the government. But there's a black market, and it'll pay like practically 3 times or more than 3 times the amount if you sell to the right people. It's like, what am I reading here? And I gotta admit, I like it. I like it a lot. So more than just that, we're seeing the internal politics. Now, mind you, I can't remember a single person's name in this book. Any of these characters, I can't remember them. And maybe eventually I will. I'm not sure. It's hard to make a good sci-fi epic when it's not the main 2 comic books, right? When you're just talking about it's sci-fi, there's no superpowers per se. It's just regular old folks. It's usually not the easiest thing in the world to do that. But in this particular case, maybe. This is a good book. I'm enjoying this. They've got a couple of lofty ideas for where they're going to go next, and I'm definitely interested in seeing where they go next. This is one of those books I have to remember to put on my pull list next time I go into the comic book store, because I really do want to see where this book goes after here. I mean, it's like the whole book is just, here's an introduction to these characters, here's an introduction to this world and the situation, and here's a setup for what's about to happen next. Does this mean that this should have been an issue 0 or a free comic book day issue? Absolutely not. This book was exactly what it needed to be to stoke the fires of your intentions for the next issue. So yeah, I, for one, I'm definitely all on board for seeing where this goes. A whole bunch of characters in here. Richter was one of the characters, but not one of those 4 main characters. Anyway, check this out. See the examples that I've made, and see if you come up with a different idea of what this is like, where perhaps Mr. Ewing got the inspiration from. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Enjoy the book. Like the video. Watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.